Forward. What is victory? The subtitle of this book reads, No More Pulling Punches. It's a boxing term. When you pull a punch, you don't hit the other fighter as hard as you can. It also means to hold back from doing what you think you should do. Many missed victories are the results of pulling punches, whether in work, business, or our spiritual lives. We don't meet the challenges with enough force to cause a reaction. We hold back because we doubt, or we've seen too many failures around us to believe we can do more than just make it through. Why is the word never on the cover written in crayon? My 8-year-old son Judah wrote it. It signifies a childlike faith that won't give up. I had a different title in mind for this book, but one day I asked my son Jacob what he thought the title should be. He said, I know. You should call the book Give Up and have a child's handwriting write the word never in crayon across it. Wow, that's wisdom from a child who understands faith. As I think about the potential audience for this book, I really want everyone to read it, regardless of whether or not you believe in God. I believe that the principles found in this book have merit for any person desiring to overcome difficulties they might be facing. It's out of a sense of compassion and a desire for an overcoming spirit for all people that I write this book. For those not used to reading a book with Bible verses quoted in it, or mentioning spiritual life, I would like to invite you to grab what you can from it to help you overcome what you're facing. It's an invitation into what has helped our family have total victory over some of the darkest moments in our lives. Maybe you're facing a bad diagnosis from the doctor, or maybe you're struggling in your mind with anxiety. Whatever the case, you need to get through the circumstance saying you had victory, and I want to help you get there. To those who already profess a faith in Jesus, I'll start by saying that the lives of those who believe in Jesus are supposed to be marked by many traits that those who don't have a faith in a supernatural God do not have. One of those traits is being victorious in every situation. Romans 8:37 states, No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. We are more than conquerors. More than conquerors. But oftentimes there doesn't seem to be a difference between the life and level of victory between one who believes and one who doesn't. I believe the main reason for this is that many believers never grab hold of the truth that they can have as much of God's presence as they want. The fact is that most Christians don't pursue closeness with God. Like Moses on the mountain, who was gone for weeks spending his every moment in God's presence, that his face shone with God's glory, we can also gain an evidence of God's glory when we pursue him. I heard a profound statement once. If you're going through the desert, don't build your house there. If you have found you have accepted the plight of your bad situation and have laid down your will in place of the will of the negative circumstances, but you're looking for a way out, this book is for you. It's a guarantee that at some point in your life, you're going to feel stuck in the desert. I felt stuck in the desert when my 8-year-old son had lupus. I felt stuck in the desert when my business failed at the exact same time our landlord was moving back into our rented house, putting us nearly on the streets. I felt stuck in the desert that day I was laid off from my job in 2008. The fact is, because we are more than conquerors, we should fully expect to overcome these situations in due time. But overcoming requires the same mentality and actions as an overcomer and a conqueror. And overcoming is not the same as just getting through. What do conquerors do? They fight. I've been in too many Bible studies and prayer meetings when the prayer requests are mentioned for serious issues and the response is hanging heads, groaning and sighing as if we've already been defeated and broken. No. It's time to stand on the Word of God. We are not defeated. Miracles still happen, and I've seen them with my own eyes. When you find yourself in the desert and perhaps in despair, it's time to seek the Lord for what you can learn while you're in there and to fight like a conqueror and claw your way out of the desert. I believe every negative situation in life should have a testimony of victory at the end of it. Why do I think that? In my life, I can tell you a miracle story at the end of every crossroads. Not just a story that says, but we finally got out with the shirt still on our backs. Rather, our testimony says, look at the miracles that came about from it. The son who was diagnosed with an autoimmune illness, he's completely healed. That time we lost our home, we obeyed God, moved across the country, and have thrived ever since. That time in 2008 when I got laid off, I prayed like never before and within 2 days got hired at a new job with twice the pay. You'll read about all of these testimonies. This is a book about victory, a really overcoming victory and the mindset and actions needed to obtain victory. In these next chapters, you'll see how God answered prayers in undeniable ways in our lives. And through reading these stories, your faith will begin to grow, and you can become victorious too, through prayer. There's no more playing around. The enemy hates you, and he isn't embarrassed to come against you. So let's not be embarrassed to pursue God like never before and obtain the victorious life he has intended us to live. No more pulling punches.